threat in any of the competitions that they've gone into, but this is I think the rotations are so much more tighter. The teamwork is looking solid. And I feel like it was not like any of those players were bad. It's just that strategically, they were trying out a flavor that perhaps did not favor them. And it required multiple clutches from Russia. This time, if they continue this run, they don't need Russia to clutch it out. They are going to annihilate everyone.
Yeah, it's always important to talk about like how each player is individually important, right? Right now, match standings look so good. EVOS with 41 points. Matching up with Loud Sneakers so quickly as well. We've only seen 2 maps.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, great equalizer here from EVOS. But again, shout out to DRS Gaming, the Rail Soldier, showing us that when you give a underdog team a opportunity on a stage like this, they will not let it go that easy. They're keeping up with the pressure that the competition brings, and they are delivering on every bit of expectation from the Nepalese fans. But here on the second page, you see it's a small little problem. India definitely has got one of the biggest crowds in terms of fan base, but they're not doing too well just yet. Now we've got Carol with the players here. Let's see exactly what the interview has for us. Tash and I will be right back with you.
Hello guys, Carol Bombshell here, pleasure to be here, and especially with Trap, team's captain for Loud. Okay, Trap, você começou o dia já, o time da Loud já começou o dia com buia, e especialmente com a Buriram no top 4. Como é a confiança de você estar nesse momento? Vocês ainda conseguiram chegar num segundo lugar nessa última partida. Você acha que isso tem sido importante para o time de vocês?
Acho que a confiança nossa está lá em cima, de acordo com os resultados que vêm durante alguns meses. Estamos evoluindo a cada dia, a gente quer muito representar o Brasil bem nesse Mundial. Já começamos muito bem, um top 1 e um top 2. É isso, estamos amassando, manter mais 4 quedinhas aí pra cima.
Yes, of course. Starting the championship, started EWC 2026 with Abuya was very important. Starting the championship, started EWC 2026.
Que a gente sempre joga um campeonato e quando ele acaba e o desempenho não é tão bom, eu sempre solto uma frase que eu falo com o Joker, eu falo: mano, aqui nós aprendemos a jogar esse campeonato, a partir de agora nós só vai desempenhar bem, e eu acho que foi o que aconteceu no último Mundial. Quando ele acabou, em vez de mim ficar triste e de cabeça baixa, eu falei: a partir de agora nosso time aprendeu como jogar o Mundial.
Wow, that's very special. Okay, so reached the Free Fire World Series finals last year in the top 5, gave us such a great and important understanding in what we should do in Free Fire right now. And I told my coach, okay, so right now we are learning even more to play Free Fire. We are in the right path, and I think we are more than prepared to take the world right now, and that's exactly what we came to do here at EWC. Thanks so much for your time. Good luck in the next match. Make the L. And I'm back to you guys at the studio.
This ain't no regular thing. Came for the ring, you know what I mean. You see my name in the lights. Better get right, champion.
so exposed. Falcons can ruin it.
Unbelievable.
Falcons!
What we are seeing in front of us here right now. And the team to end it, Russia, with the final elimination. The Wonder Kid gets the job done.
Just thinking about we're gonna lift the trophy together. I don't know, I don't think that much when that moment. That was my first international game, so that was quite easy for me to get the MVP. And yeah, very lovely.
What made them strong in 2025 was the wonder kid called Russia. You know, he's been in the circuit for many years, and for many years he could not play on a stage like this because he was underage, their best sniper. And I think that was their secret sauce to success. If you look at him, he is the most humble kid you'll ever come across. You know, bright eyes. He never ever underestimates anyone. I think the most important thing is he wants to prove himself out there as well. And the moment he got the opportunity to do that, he did exactly that.
Esports, this is the time to shine! Sergeant, booyah!
No, I think I feel so confident. We're training so hard in Indonesia, so we're very confident to lift the trophy again.
21 elimination from the champions of Clash Quad and still on the roll, and EVO's being taken down.
Ya, setelah di EWC kemarin kita sudah tidak mendapatkan piala-piala lagi, kita tidak bisa ngejuarain turnamen-turnamen berikutnya mungkin karena kita udah lupa siapa kita sebenarnya. Tetapi di hari ini kita sudah ingat siapa diri kita sebenarnya.
If you look at the data, it says they will not be the back-to-back champions. If you look at the kids and if you look at how determined they are to be back-to-back champions, there's a slight possibility. But it's going to be difficult because for the first time ever on the global stage, we've got 24 teams. Everybody's got that exact same dream. Because that dream is alive for the rest, the chances of EVOS Divine doing it back-to-back may be a little lower.
Kalau untuk tim-tim lain sih, kalau buat saya sendiri saya tidak perlu memikirkan banyak hal tentang tim-tim lain karena itu saya sudah percaya kepada coach saya. Jadi saya tinggal fokus aja main. Nah, itu yang terbaik pokoknya. Pesan-pesan untuk tim-tim lain, ya hati-hatilah karena ini EWC bukan turnamen yang lain. Kalian bisa lihat sejarah-sejarah kita di turnamen EWC kemarin. Nah, itu dia, kalian hati-hati aja yang ngegangguin drop zone kita.
Everybody that was wondering how EVOS Divine was gonna start Free Fire at EWC 26, boy did we get an answer because they came in hot. By the way, yes, you saw one more person added to this amazing panel that we have, and it's none other than Lace. But Lace, I'm actually not... Sorry, because I want to talk about EVOS. And you were wondering how they were gonna be doing. All of us were wondering how they were gonna be doing. They're doing pretty damn good.
They're doing pretty well. I'm kind of relieved actually. Close calls throughout the whole entire first game, and it got me worrying. Not something that I want to see, obviously, but at least they slowly climbing the elimination points ladder, and they fix what could be perfected on the first game. Because hey, come the second game, they know exactly what they need to do, and we see Russia obviously as a pivot sniper. He's gonna need more room for him to do dynamic movements, and that's exactly what the support gave them. So yeah, it works well for them. EVOS is finally finding maybe opening game. Of course, the nerf is something that maybe we cannot explain. It's something that's always difficult, always hard for anyone at the EWC.
Yeah, they've got pressure on their shoulders, you know what I mean? They're like, oh no, we've won, we've got to do it again. So like that's got to add on top of this as well, and I guess we saw that in their games too.
Yeah, but now leading the standing with 41 total points and 23 elimination points. I mean, that is crazy. Even you have to admit that.
I mean, it's amazing, not gonna lie. Seeing the players just chilling back there after getting that booyah and then looking at the keys, they're probably wondering which keys are we gonna be crushing now. But talking about teams that might be possibly crushing mentioned some keys, we got to talk about Loud, because my goodness, Loud was another team that started off hot. You could say the first win was a bit given, but boy, they took advantage of it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, coming from the position we're in heat, they're not really found in the map. I'm really looking forward to how they're going to adapt right now. They were trying to do the similar approach on that game number 2, but it's just unfortunate that EWC Defiant is the one who cut them off on the rotation. Just hanging in the middle of that final circle is one thing that Loud has been doing for the first 2 games, but it's just unfortunate that rotation was not favoring them, and even Launchpad was not on them in that final moment. So it was tough for them to make that rotation.
It definitely was. One thing, I mean, we've been seeing some of these squads now being able to perform well, right? Evo's, Loud out of Brazil. Earlier, you were talking about Rhythm, Conchita. I mean, Loud definitely is finding that rhythm. One team that is currently not finding their rhythm, though, Lace, is none other than Falcons.
Yeah, you know, we've been talking about that pressure, and they've got the pressure of the club championships on their shoulders. So, you know, amounts of other Falcons, you know, in different games coming through. So, of course, you know, they're sitting in that kind of middle of the pack at the moment. They are trying to find those eliminations early on. There was actually a moment in the second match where we saw Team Falcons hunting down Team Tag. They were able to take 2 limbs from the team, and they're like, no revivals for you guys. And we just saw them sort of launch over to where Tag was trying to recover the rest of the team and try and get those early eliminations. So, you know, I think they're sitting about, 6th place, 27. It's nothing, you know, at the top with those 41 sorts of points there. But look, they have shown the same kind of consistency that they had, you know, in these previous global series that they had. Sometimes they do incredibly well. Sometimes they choke and aren't flying like a Falcon should. But look, don't take your eyes off Team Falcons, guys, because they are capitalizing on those early eliminations, which are putting those points on the boards. And, you know, they're just looking for that booyah.
Yeah,
they're looking for that later on.
Let's see if they're going to end up getting it, because I'm looking at number 4 here.
Yeah.
Gundy Nasty. I mean, 32 points? That's not bad either.
Yes, Gun Dynasty, that first game was definitely something. I did not expect them to do so well. I mean, they have been consistently showing amazing strength and courage and the skill to back it up. So I am just at awe at how amazing Gun Dynasty is performing at the very first game. And sitting at 4th with 23 elimination points surely isn't bad. But I also kind of want to talk about Buriram, AGAL. It's like they're not fully being themselves. I don't know what is happening actually, Neptune.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, from what we've seen in AGAL and Buriram, they're trying their best to study their opponents just yet. Again, it's some of the teams are in here quite fresh.
Yeah.
They haven't met them in Southeast Asia or some of the global tournaments that they have. So they need a little bit of time to study their opponents. And that's what they're doing for most part of the game. First half was just silent, and then towards the end, that's where they try to put in a little pressure. But at some point, there's still a lot of teams surviving towards that final circle. So third party is Buriram United's one's weakness.
Yeah, I agree, because when I see Buriram United, it's like they're trying so hard to match the Brazil's gameplay, but somehow it bite them back in the process. So it's definitely something that we want to see from Buriram, either from EJL.
Yeah, and I was talking to Lucifer, actually, one of the casters, that you'll be able to see later on today. And I was asking him about how they're just currently not performing too. This squad, he was telling me that this squad tends to start slow, but they picked it up on the second day. Now, earlier, let's rewind it back. You were talking about consistency, right? That's not the consistency that we want to see out of these teams. So now that we got 2 matches done today, we got 4 matches left for this Group A. What are your expectations for Tag?
Actually, my expectation is that they could somehow learn from the mistakes, obviously, because the first 2 games, boy, oh boy, they were a little all over the place, if I can say that. I'm really sorry again.
It's okay, it's our job.
I always feel bad to say that, because I really want them to do well. I mean, obviously, they have quite a name, that a reputation they need to upkeep. So this is just something that I'm seeing from them. I just hope that they can bounce back and do better.
Well, we'll have to see, though, because judging from that story, if you really need plenty of time, and we're only talking about, 4 days overall, then you'll be a loss already at first. And you don't want to be in the bottom 2 of that leaderboard, because true enough, after 2 days, you'll be out.
You'll definitely be out. And you know what? I want you, Lace, to put in your coach mentality.
Purgatory.
If you're looking at VP from Pakistan, I mean, this squad, a lot of people expected them to do well, especially all the crowd from Pakistan. Right now, they're in last place. If you're the coach, what are you going to go over there and tell them?
I'm telling you to get a boo freaking yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I can tell.
What I'm saying.
I can tell that there's something Lace really want to tell them, but she can't say it on camera.
I gotta be broadcast friendly here, okay? Let me let like the Australian out, please, guys. Let me let it loose. But look, those teams, and this is what we talk about when you say, you know, the mental capabilities of these teams. When you sit at that lower of the leaderboard, it is hard to sort of pick it back up and get to those sorts of spots with our AGLs and even like our GDs and stuff like that. It's going to be a little bit of a trek, but obviously 4 matches. Purgatory's next. Yeah, I heard Neptune say it. This is heaven or hell. So can they maybe get the heaven in Purgatory?
Okay, Purgatory coming up. What are we expecting, Neptune?
I'm hoping for a skewed flight path and a rough circle. Sorry for the teams out there. I know you want to get it easy right now, but
just like Aurora.
Yeah, I should be asking for the other one, for the reverse, because what I did to Aurora right there was just definitely jinxed them.
I'll give you a chance to redeem yourself, okay? We got 2 more matches coming up before you probably end up seeing us. Overall, 4 more matches here for Group A. Would you like to change your pick from Aurora?
Oh my God.
I gotta give him a chance.
I'm scared for you, really.
Yeah.
Would you like to curse any other team, sir?
Actually, I don't want to curse any teams anymore because it's very getting very dangerous right now. This is a big stage, and if I'm being blamed of them not getting into the next stage, so I don't know. But I'm still cheering on for Aurora. Hopefully this time it's just a first game jinx, and then the rest will be quite well. Because even in game 2, we've seen them perform well. So first day jitters or first game jitters, that's what they might have felt. But yeah, let's see if they can get that booyah.
That's exactly
I see you smiling on it. She's like,
yeah, I mean, talking about the first day, it's always unpredictable, right? Because of the jitters, the nervousness, the pressure that they have. But yeah, going into the 3rd and the 4th game, I think a lot of things needed to change, and Purgatory is actually a map that is a little forgiving on that. It's a great place for a reset, so I'm just so excited to see what the teams are going to bring.
And we have seen some of the other squads, right? Especially going back to the first game, AG. AG did great. I mean, this is one squad that you guys were picking as a surprise to be able to do good here. Boy, did they surprise us in the first game.
Yeah, one thing that the personality of AG is trying to keep away from all those engagements. Yeah. If they can bathe onto outside of the circle on the 3rd, 4th phase of that map, then they will do so. And even with a team booster that we have, the out of zone buff that is available, say they will be able to soak up in there, just get their position, because do really need that time to get information as a sniper of the squad, and also the launch pad. That's the angle that we need to take right there was just difficult, especially if you have 7 or 6 or 7 teams remaining on 4th to 5th phase of the circle.
So what you're saying, we're seeing AGL probably follow their same format coming out of match 1, because they did land uncontested in our first map, and then they, GD that we saw, who was just an absolute heavy hitter, they were kind of sneaking on down to AGL, and AGL's like, no, we need a little bit of space. So that's what you're saying. Match number 3, they're going to need their space, and then that's where they fly.
Okay, you know what? You got lucky, because I was going to have you pick a team, and I was going to see if you would end up cursing a team, but I'm being told Game 3 is ready, so why not? Let's send it to AJ and Tash, and maybe they'll be willing to curse a team or encourage them.
Yeah, thanks, Seven. You know what? I don't think we're going to be cursing any squads. In fact, we are going to be blessing them with a little bit of extra luck out there. In the first 2 games, we did see consistency from the reigning defending champions, EVOS Divine, as well as the Brazilian squad, Loud. But there are a couple of teams down at the bottom. I'm hoping to see more from this time round. I think that the panel called them out earlier. Tag Team Apex Gaming, the Indian squad, hasn't really been having a smooth run out there. But Purgatory is a huge map. Tons of compounds out there. You can play avoidance of majority of these initial engagements. And this could just be the kind of break the Tag needs. But that is going to be purely dependent on it or not they're going to be able to avoid the early hot drops.
Yeah, I really want to also say that some teams take a while to really heat up, right?
Yeah.
Especially since today and tomorrow, they have a little bit of a leeway, just really find their footing. I think, you know, like what Conchita said, they're nervous, they're a little bit more, I would say, pressured. But now as you go to third map, now things should just ease up.
Absolutely. And again, Team Apex Gaming in a little bit of a pickle. They've got two monsters right beside them. One from LATAM, Gun Dynasty, has been cooking the squads that they come across in the early parts of the game so far. They've got the Dinoculus used up already, scanning out multiple players. Falcons scanning the area as well. On Fire and Racha just at the perimeter, looking to play third party. And perhaps this is that one big blessing that Team Apex Gaming is going to get from this equation. Maybe having Falcons a little bit closer to Gun Dynasty will give them an advantage to survive this initial battle.
Yeah, Dio already bought back into the game quickly. Shoto barely alive.
Tags out?
Live, yeah. Oh, man.
How? How in the world did we lose Titan Esports Club before even hopping on into the game here? Unbelievable. 19 points, and they do not have anything from this game. But Gun Dynasty, on the other hand, they're going to go in here for the annihilation. But now punishing KD God and the Super Survivor, Super Reviver of the Gun Dynasty squad, looking for more. Will miss Shoto, who cracks it on in with the Valiant Dash, catching up with him, taking Banel out with the Max 7.
Yeah, and he was the guy that's, you know, responsible to bring the team back into the game, and now he has to be brought in here. Now Tag has an idea where exactly everyone is. Revoz decides to join in on the fight as well. Still waiting in the wings for the right, I think, opening, just really join in, but now on Fire, finding Wolvin already, and this offensive by Rasha could be nasty for the Falcons players.
Team Apex Gaming, all the blessings in the world. See, I told you, panel, we were going to bless them, not curse them. With all the blessings in the world, they get to avoid the initial encounter. We thought Falcons was going to be a little bit of a problem to deal with, but the White Tigers have dropped on in to say hello. You turning the table on them. Aim got taken out of the equation already. Apex, the electrotherapy is on connection, but unfortunately for the rest of the Falcons players, they will not be able to get out of this pinch. Shoto now tossing in the grenade. Can he find more? And it's just going to be the ice grenade that gives him a little bit of an advantage here. What a knock on to Ray. Shoto, Team Apex Gaming not running away, staying and taking the fight straight to them.
And it started off with Tag with the ones that's on the lower.
Shoto!
But Shoto putting the damage here. Rasha moving away.
One more!
And movement coming in. Rasha cannot run away with his life.
Yeah, Chuck the India, baby. Shailjaat though, knocked down. Shiru finding him from across. Can they get more? Gun Dynasty trying to take a little bit of a revenge here onto Team Apex Gaming. Two players out of the equation already, but on the other side of things, TEC, it was the battle up against Paradox earlier, and Windy did a number on them. Connected with the electrotherapy, was down, almost taken out, but he got the triple on them to knock them out of the lobby early.
That is almost surgical when you think about it, how they're moving around together as a team. Meanwhile, Tag already on 6 eliminations here. Wolvin's now back into the game. All eyes are on GD here, as Falcons as well is in trouble. There we go, Pina now out.
Shout out to production. I love the fact that they caught us up with what happened to TEC in the earlier parts of the game, and it's great to see Africa stepping up their game. Gameplay out there, but Team Apex Gaming talk a little bit about some step up out there, baby. 7 eliminations already, and they're looking for more. Boot it up, finding the players on the side of DP. Madara straight down to the ground, taken out of the equation already. Get high, and Mochi looking for more. Top 16 though has got the vending machine right behind him, but does he have the coins to bring back his buddies?
Now in this situation here, Jonah is just barely alive, trying to stay here. But even then, look at his rotations. I think that for DP, the easiest way to move around this is just really stay alive and move away from the area.
Okay, to answer my own question, he did not have enough. Madara's not going to be brought right back in. But the stealth bites helps him to reposition, catching up with Aswab. The players now looking to find a little bit of a reset. You will find Paradox. Sniping down, snipe himself. Pun not intended. Windy gonna get the wind knocked out of him. Pun definitely intended. And AGAL getting a number down on them. Paradox, can he continue to survive? And Banel is up to it again. Continuously reviving the rest of his team members. He's pulling a Russia on the rest of the world here for the LATAM squad.
You know, I really am curious, like, toward the end of this tournament, how many Benel would have, revived, and would it be a world record to see how many he would be able to do so? Now, the rest of GD also back into the game as well. Look at this middle side of the map here. There's like, what, 4 teams hanging around there? Buriram United, PDX, Aurora, even DRS somewhere close by, DP, AGAL. It's a cluster of fights.
Man, Azrael, wrong move there, but that was desperation for sure. Up against 2 players, jumped on into the vehicle, but the VSK snaps him right out of it. And Aurora in a pinch, but maybe the interference of Buriram can help the Malaysian squad here. Alu now focusing on the players on the side of Buriram. Electro buddies, but if Alu gets taken out early here, DRS is going to be in a little bit of a pinch without their support player. But Prateek is in a great position with the Car 98, should be able to have a tad bit of an advantage here, but the angle's just not working out for them. DRS wants to reposition, and thankfully Buriram is actually not going in for the hunt. They're looking to reposition and find a safer haven for themselves instead.
Yeah, Buriram United always like to prioritize surviving super early as well. AGL Cypher does get one over on the other end. Got me a bit nervous for Buriram United when I saw some shots coming toward them. I think Loud was really hot at their heels right then. But Buriram United, if they do move forward there, they will be running up against DP. Loud on the other end, just putting in damage toward the PDX and AGL players.
Again, shout out to the team in the back. The observers have been on fire. Thank you very much for making sure you guys catch all of the action out there, because it is hot on the lobby today. And like you said, we've got too many squads in this next circle, and that's exactly what Purgatory has been able to give us for Stroex and Rasya leading the eliminations, and Benel actually keeping up with them. With the damage out there, I mean, Benel, what a superstar. Super survivor, super rescuer, reviving the squad multiple times. Also one of the rushers of the squad, bringing in the numbers through eliminations for the LATAM squad. This is the best that we have seen out of them, and I feel like they're giving us the consistency that we usually look for. But Apex Gaming, great start. Can they continue against the champions? 20 right in front of them. But this is a big advantage for Team Apex Gaming.
Yeah, this is really great at just really finding its openings. And you can tell they're very hungry. They've been hot on the Falcons' tails for quite some time here. Even Shoto on fire right now. And the rest of TAG wants to collapse onto this fight. They've taken away the space, but Falcons has a little bit more space to prepare.
They gotta be careful here. They don't have information. They're rushing straight in. Team Apex Gaming needs to slow down the pacing here, get that info, and then play their positions well, because the flank on the side of Falcons might just be exactly what gives them the victory over Team Apex Gaming. And as requested, Team Apex Gaming says hasta la vista, putting a little bit of a distance between themselves, and but no finisher just yet. Moco tagging them up, and India, they do give away their positions, but will win. Perfect Thompson play, knocking down on fire. Raja with the M590 looking for the revenge, but those glue walls played perfectly by India.
They kept him away. He wasn't able to follow. He cannot come in. And now the rest of TAG wants to go this fight. Here Raja is alone. Right in the corner. On fire's back in the game already. Rushes forward. Raja
boom, baby,
in the corner and taken down and out. Eliminated already here, but Falcons brings him back in quickly.
Yeah, boy, Shoto's on fire. And Team Apex Gaming right back in it, but they gotta make sure they finish what they started. Karora right out there. Pina with the support play. Wolvin knocked down already, and this is still trouble time. Team Apex Gaming, they've got the vending machine out here outside the circle. They need to clean up their act right here, right now. The eliminations are looking good, but Falcons are not gonna get taken down that easy. Shoto with the flank. What a headshot! Shoto's on fire!
I love Shoto, how aggressive, how confident he was in taking up that space, knowing how exactly to play with the information and position he has.
What a recovery. The revives are on point as well. And Team Apex Gaming on Purgatory. A bit of extra room to breathe, and with that extra bit of oxygen in their system, they are on fire. And Falcons now on the revival spree, but with 1,300 in his pockets. Double revival, no problems at all. Falcons close to their compound, but I don't think the World Jams will be looking to take the fight up against them. Falcons scanning out their area with the Dinoculus, a counter Dinocular used here, potentially by either EWOS or Buriram. As the players on the side of DP slowly make not intentionally. They're going to find one, but they're not going to second guess their movements at all. They want to take DP out of the equation here before they take away their defensive spot as well.
I am curious to see how exactly the rotation is going to come in for TAG. They're so far away from everyone else, but this late rotation could potentially benefit them. Letting everyone take this fight early. Venal quick to find Alu here as well. One knockdown. Top 16 also almost following suit here. AGL knowing this quick reposition forward, and DRS Takuri now knocked down.
Oh, Gun Dynasty coming across DRS. Wrong timing here for the Rail Soldiers, but Pratik and stremaing sending things around. And 590 takes down our swap, and this timing, and DRS in a little bit of a pickle. stremaing, can you get away? Even if you do, can you get enough coins to play recovery? All now for the side of the Rail Soldiers and Gun Dynasty. The recovery is going to be close to impossible here for Gun Dynasty. If they pull it off somehow without Benel, it is going to be a miraculous run for sure.
Just really waiting things out right now. Kiroro is here with Falcons. They have like a nice, I think, off angle to play with, but not even close to get into that circle. You have to take this fight against EVOS, which is going to be so annoying. Even stremaing, look how far back he has to move away from the area just to survive.
A little bit of a slower pace. And scanning out 4 players on the side of EVOS as well. Good binocular once again from the side of Falcons, but what can you do with that extra bit of information? You can't flank around too far off to the left and tank a lot of the damage, putting yourself out in the open. So Falcons are going to actually go in for a direct approach here. And clearly Abex, the M249X in hand, will not worry at all about losing his bullets. He can spray, barely needing to pray for Team Apex Gaming. I hope you've said your prayers already. You're coming dominators in the competition who are not really on fire just yet. So maybe that's going to be the blessing here. Shoto, Superman for the side of Team Apex Gaming, looking for the shutdown. Wasana, looking for those nades as well. And for the time being, the ice grenades tagging them up. But Buriram not going anywhere. They want to take this fight, and they're waiting for Team Apex Gaming to break down those glue walls so they can have an advantage.
And meanwhile, over on this side here, EVOS
Katie God!
The Falcons out of that circle. Pina finds an angle, puts the damage onto AimGod, reposition, but hard to do anything as EVOS collapses onto the members of the Falcons. On fire, barely alive. One member knocked down as well. Moving together as a team, but too much to deal with.
Yeah, that's what I said, man. Falcons can get all the information they want off of the binoculars, but they were just in a rough spot positionally. Could not flank around to the left. EVOS would have sniped them out of the waters instantaneously, had to take a straightforward fight because of the damage of the circle, and EVOS just had the better position. The Rail Soldiers, on the other hand, there's nowhere else to go. Gun Dynasty still alive and kicking with the no revives possible for them, but they're now trying to play the placement points. AimGod looking for the reposition. Rastia tagged up already. stremaing single-handedly trying to take down as many players as possible from the side of EVOS, but the jig is up. The moment Gun Dynasty closes in on him, DRS might just be that extra point that Gun Dynasty needs.
Here comes Ray as well. stremaing taking a lot of damage already hanging in this corner. He's stuck here. Either you go down to the zone or you go out in the open and you crunch between 2 different teams. But he's not going to stop trying though. He spots Rasha, goes a bit too wide, and the rest of EVOS, they're just going to wait for him to come out in the open.
Yeah, he's got the mini launcher on his side. He can quickly reposition, but potential to be sniped out of the air is high here. Now the zone's going to catch up with him as well. He's probably not running the team boosters, and he's going to sustain a ton of damage off of that, but still playing it safe. One with Mother Nature, finding some cover right behind the tree. And this is so much the tree can do for you, buddy. The grenades are going to find the tags onto him, forcing him to use those medkits as well. One great wall, keeping the players of AJL and Buriram far away from each other. And the engagement between these 2 titans will not break out just yet.
AGL had taken a lot of, I think, players out here as well. Now EVOS just kind of moving around the zone right now, trying to see whether I can get some pickoffs. Excuse me. Maybe they can just stay away from these fights. Speaking of fights here, BRU up against AGAL. The only thing separating them is just this wall. Cypher does take a bit of damage here, but if anything, eventually Dew will fall. It's going to be Apex with a great opening there.
Okay, a couple of grenades over the wall. Could be a big one, but Buriram calls for the bolt maker. Lightning zone now is going to be that pressure for both AGAL as well as EVOS Divine. Loud going to be hopping on into the battle as well, but Waka eliminated from the equation before he can even make a play. And a counter lightning zone called upon Buriram as well. Two teams with the bolt maker out there. EVOS Divine with a big brain play off of those monster trucks. Extra layer of defense here for them. You can blow it up, but you cannot touch them just yet.
Yeah, Nameless get knocked out here. Nasha goes for 2 even to the AGAL side. And now, Buriram United wants to go in stealing away the kills. No, it's Russia that's able to secure every single elimination point. Now, the tension changes. Buriram United has to fight against EVOS Divine, and they're gonna try and collapse forward.
A familiar situation here. Southeast Asia takes over Purgatory. And EVOS Divine up against Buriram United Esports. Can they go for a back-to-back booyah? Or will Buriram ruin the party here for EVOS? Either way, EVOS will still stay at the top of the leaderboard. Looking at their consistency so far. Valiant Dash breaking down their own defenses, but Wasana doesn't pull away too much from that. Moshi with the M82B gets the knock. Ray still standing up close and personal up against Jonah, who gets the hop up off of the glue wall and finds Aim God right behind it. And Buriram looking for the finisher up against EVOS.
Yeah, Wasana just rushing for here. Rasha here all alone. The shots going a bit too hard, but Moshi going huge here. And there we go. Buriram United getting that booyah. Amazing work. Jonah, movement god.
Never before the champion here at the Esports World Cup. Could this be the year for Buriram United Esports? We talked about how Russia was the super sniper on the side of EVOS. We saw the amazing plays from him, but we cannot forget the one and only Moshi, baby. I fell in love with the snipers because of this guy, and he is back. This is his meta. This is his time to shine once again, and he cleaned up the battlefield in the final sequence.
Honestly, every single one of these members for the teams, I think really stood out to me as well. But that final few picks coming from Moshi just completely cleaned up house and turned the tides for this team. Personally, for me, I saw the pressure coming in toward EVOS Divine, and I thought they have high capabilities of turning around the tides. But Buriram United, knowing this, did not give them that chance this time and completely decided to just completely collapse at the right timing.
Absolutely. 3-time world champs right there for a good reason. Mainly Jonah, who I think is the most decorated player on that stage as far as his career here in Free Fire Esports is concerned. And they are the ones who have everything on their side in terms of rotations, IQ plays, perhaps a couple of hiccups here and there, but nobody can take away the fact that they are definitely one of the favorites out here to cause a lot of trouble. But can they get all the way to the end? Because EWC hasn't really been very kind to the squad so far.
No, I completely agree with you. There are just so many times that I think the Southeast Asian talent that we always say Buriram United is going to be the one at the very top. They always start off very hot, I believe. But then after a while, you start to see them waver a little bit. I'm wondering how this year would change for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, towards the end, it was more of a hunting game. The players just looking for those shots. And Moshi, as the sniper of the squad, just not holding back at all, right? Just taking the fight straight up to them. The M82B got a little bit of a bump recently on the OB update, and these guys are not doubting it at all in terms of usage. Now, we've got a few commercials to play. Tash and I will be right back with you after the panel catches up with you guys.
Hello everyone, it's Yuso and we are live in Paris here in EWC 26 Free Fire stage. And right next to me, we have our two co-streamers who are so popular in Vietnam. Introduce to you, Bác Gấu and Cyrus. Xin chào tất cả mọi người. Thì không biết là hiện tại là mình đang ngồi đây sân khấu tại Pháp thì mọi người đang cảm giác như thế nào vậy ạ?
Xin chào tất cả các bạn nha. Rất là hồi hộp các bạn, mà không khí ở đây gọi là tuyệt vời và chưa bao giờ mà thấy một cái sân khấu mà lớn như thế này các bạn ơi. Mình không biết là áp lực của các tuyển thủ sẽ như thế nào nữa.
Sau đó thì cảm thấy như thế nào ạ?
Dạ em có thấy rất là vui ạ.
Vui thôi hả?
Dạ.
Mình bay rất là lâu tới đây mà chỉ thấy vui thôi hả?
Em cũng trải nghiệm được nhiều rồi.
Trải nghiệm được nhiều. Alright, overall the stage is really hype, big. They have never seen any stage like this. Very special to them in this Free Fire scenes. And overall, a very overwhelming feelings, happy when they're here in Paris to attend EWC 26 Free Fire. Okay, so I can see in the comment section thì không biết là từ nãy đến giờ mọi người theo dõi được 2 trận đấu rồi. Thì không biết là cả Bác Gấu và cả Sarah cảm thấy là các bạn khán giả của mình comment như thế nào vậy? Mọi người có hưng phấn và có đang chờ đợi màn trình diễn của Team Secret của mình không ạ?
Wow, rất nhiều người ở Việt Nam và rất nhiều người khán giả hâm mộ của series EWC đang trông chờ màn ra mắt của EWC, và rất nhiều khán giả đang coi ở tất cả kênh sóng của Garena Việt Nam đang rất bất ngờ bởi vì cái phong thái thi đấu của cái đội tuyển ở Latam hay là ở kể cả Mexico hoặc là Ấn Độ. Họ đánh giá thấp Brazil, nhưng năm nay Brazil trở lại khá là mạnh mẽ.
Cảm ơn Bác Gấu ạ. Vậy thì Cyrus sẽ cảm thấy như thế nào về trong 2 trận đấu vừa qua đi? Thì Cyrus sẽ đánh giá như thế nào? Bởi vì bảng A cũng sẽ là một cái bảng rất là căng thẳng so với bảng B của chúng ta.
Thì theo em thấy thì sau 2 trận thi đấu thì em thấy cũng khá là khắc nghiệt. Nếu mà đội nào sẽ thi đấu mà gọi là xuống phong độ sẽ đội đó sẽ bị loại.
Chính xác là như vậy. So as we can see that of this coming tournament, here we have a lot of teams, Latam, India, and so many move on more. And very excited to see a huge circle of Free Fire all attending here to compete their best to get the champions at EWC 26. And overall, after 2 matches from Cyrus depends on him. Well, who got the weakness has go down, obviously. And of course, I can see that everyone is really hyped, especially for Team Secret, as known as WAG from Vietnam, are also here to attend EWC 26. We'll attend the match in the Group B after this Group A end. Well, this is the end, and I love the energy of everyone here. Everyone looks so happy and very hyped for their favorite team, and I do hope you guys are also like that. Please continue to support your team.
Boy, we had to make sure we got away from some of our other analysts because I know they were hyped. The Buriram has finally showed up. They got that booyah, and this is what we were expecting out of the 3-time world champs.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's champions against champions right now. One taking the global finals, one taking the EWC. So you would expect really fire gameplay out of that final game, out of the final match, final circle. AGL though, I mean, I think just looked away, and then the moment that we look back, they were out. So the final 2 teams, 4v4, it was just phenomenal. But I'm also looking forward to how Lao is going to recover right now, because I think they were pushed down a little bit too hard this time. And Rim United, after getting that booyah, they just catapulted themselves up.
Do you think they're going to be, especially for Loud, right? Do you think this is the next game? It's time for them to bounce back, because we're seeing consistency once again out of EVOs.
Yeah, I mean, EVOs being a top 3 in 2 games or 3 games already is enough. Like, if you want to be in there, just an easier ticket to stage 3, then that's what they need right now. Compared to their Southeast Asia, right? And they always go for the longer route, the longer days, like even not skipping a day, because they're at the bottom going into elimination before the grand finals, before point rush. So I'm loving this version of EVO's Divine right now. Probably it's because of the crowd giving them more energy.
True, and this is the halfway point as well for Group A on day 1 of Free Fire at Esports World Cup 26. Now, out of all the squads, right, we're hyping up the squads that are doing good. Let's talk about some of the other squads that needed to improve on that 3rd game. And one of them that ended up improving, at least for my liking, had to be Tag. Boy, this squad was finally able to start putting up some eliminations on the board, and this is what we're expecting them. I know Lucifer in the back is expecting even more out of them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we were just talking about that earlier before the game started, and then we saw them perform. So it's a good thing as well that it only took them a couple of games before for their warm-up, before they really bring it on. Because being in the bottom two, or almost the bottom two, that's not a place that you want to be, even if you still have another day to play. So you don't want to risk it. At least bring yourself halfway to what is intended, and then that's when you play. If you don't like, that's when you gauge. If you really don't want to show that much performance, just go in there in the skirts. Next stage.
Yeah, and the good thing too, like going in regards to EVOs, in regards to Burram United, now that are starting to get all these points right. One thing that is going good for this squad, yeah, they're performing well, they're being consistent, but they're just sponging up all those points at the top. And don't forget, from Group A, the top 4 will be going to Champion Rush Finals. And the last 2 will be going home, and in between they'll be going to survival. But that sponge of points there from the top is kind of just making everything even tighter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's difficult for them to really catch up. Like because of the huge lead that you have right there, it's making it hard for the teams to really catch up, and it's also demeaning at some point. Like you will see your team at the bottom trying and struggling that much to bring in the numbers, and then you see the top wherein you, even if you still have one day, but everyone is competitive at this point. You want closer to where you're intended to be, to skip one day and just watch everyone play.
Yeah, and from this map that we just saw, Purgatory, remember, this is one that you were looking to see some crazy stuff. I gotta ask you, were you happy with what we saw there out of Purgatory, or do you want to see more madness?
Well, definitely more madness, more chaos with a K. Because Purgatory, like, I'm not giving that most of the opportunity for a skewed flight path, the like ruining final circle, but at least the teams are treating it as if it's a skewed flight path. The early engagement that's happening, a lot of teams trying to go in and out for battle, and that's what makes it exciting, because they're just playing it with the map itself.
Yeah, and now going to the last 3 games here of Group A, right? Earlier we were talking about tag. We wanted to see them being able to step up. I know we have a team